Allora, buonasera a tutti, grazie di essere qui con noi. Credo che l'incontro di oggi, da un punto di vista così di mitologia, sia uno dei più attesi, visto che una delle persone che avremo con noi ospiti è stata definita a un certo punto la donna più bella del mondo.
E lo è ancora.
E lo è ancora, e la persona che l'accompagna è il suo compagno, John Corbett, che molti di voi credo che conosceranno per un popolare serial televisivo, perché abbiamo con noi Bo Derek e John Corbett.
What are you doing here?
Hello.
Hello. Yes. Yes, because I have to speak in Italian to have the translation in the cuffs.
You can interpret for me or no? No, I can hear you. English? Anyone English? A little? We have to wear these silly things.
Yes.
Okay. Like astronauts, cosmonauts. My hair looks too good today to mess up.
Ok, se volete sedervi possiamo...
Yes,
Ok?
I can hear.
Yes.
It does work. Ok. Allora, la prima domanda che faccio a Derek è una domanda molto semplice che credo che ogni spettatore e spettatrice si sia fatta nel momento in cui lei ha avuto la fortuna a un certo punto, attraverso soprattutto il film di Black Edwards, di apparire come una o la donna più bella del mondo, che è una qualifica che insomma che può anche in qualche maniera avere una pressione distruttiva. Come ha affrontato l'idea che a un certo punto, grazie al cinema, grazie a un film, grazie a un regista, di poter diventare così nota?
Well, in many ways, obviously, it's a blessing. And I've always said I was fortunate that my first movie was 10, The Perfect Woman. It could have been Hannibal Lecter, a serial killer. So I was very fortunate.
Ecco, l'idea di vedersi sullo schermo, no? In quella maniera, con l'occhio di un grande regista, cos'è che ha provato quando si è visto in quel modo? Ricorda le sensazioni?
I've never felt so confident in my career as my first movie with such a great filmmaker. You just feel protected. And it was very surprising later when I went on to do other films where I felt more vulnerable.
Posso chiedere a John cosa ha provato lei quando l'ha vista per la prima volta?
Right. When Bo is 4 years older than me, and when she first came in the movie 10, I think I was 17 and you were 20, 21. And I wasn't allowed to see the movie yet. I wasn't old enough. You had to be 18 and show ID because you could see Bo's tits in the movie. And in my town of West Virginia, I wasn't allowed in. So the first time I saw the movie 10 was after we started dating 13 years ago. We were in a Blockbuster video rental, and it was 10, and I said, we're watching it tonight on video cassette. And certainly knew who she was from the pictures, but I didn't see 10 until after we were. So that was surreal to be sitting with Bo, eating popcorn in our living room, watching 10, which I think is a fantastic movie. They keep saying they're going to remake it with Beyoncé. Yes.
Very different. Vai.
Ho letto recentemente un articolo che parlava delle attrici che hanno iniziato da giovanissime. Quindi ho visto una sua intervista subito dopo Ten a David Letterman, dove lei invece sembrava, ed è come la vedo tuttora, una persona molto equilibrata, molto con i piedi per terra. Allora mi chiedo qual è il segreto per riuscire a non essere coinvolti in maniera negativa nello show business, iniziando così da giovani.
It is very difficult. I would credit my husband with keeping me balanced because he was 30 years older than I was, but he grew up in Hollywood. So he had a very good, cynical attitude that was good for me. And he encouraged me to make my own decisions, not listen to too many people.
Anche Mr. Corbett a un certo punto è diventato un po' un sex symbol, questo possiamo dirlo, nel senso che in una popolare serie televisiva...
Yeah.
Allora, qual è il punto di vista maschile?
Yes, I think I'm quite normal. There's no sex symbol in my family, except my mother. My mother was very beautiful, and the only reason you might say that is because I was on the show Sex and the City, which was very risque. I actually said no to Sex and the City 3 times because I thought it was too. I didn't want my mother to see it. There was too much nudity and cursing involved. Believe me, I don't. I prepared 3 hours to look this pretty. There's no sex symbol around the house except Bo.
Mentre lei ha una grande attrazione per la musica, è un'altra delle sue grandi passioni.
Yes.
Credo che sarebbe bello che lei ce ne parlasse.
Oh, okay, sure. I've put 2 records out, 2 albums, and we play all over the United States to places like this, but maybe 500 people. Just a little bit more than this. There's maybe 300 here, and I've been doing it for 10 years. There's 4 of us in my band, and I've known all my buddies in the band for over 20 years. I've been playing music since I was 7. I just turned 53 last month, so I've been playing guitar and singing since I was a young boy in West Virginia. And that's what we do. We go out on the road and we play a 3-hour show with no breaks, no bathroom breaks. We go on at 9 and we leave at midnight, and we have a lot of fun. We drink some whiskey and we make people happy, and then we drive 8 hours the next day. I do all the driving, by the way, in a van, and we do it again the next night. And I'm going to do it. We are going to Germany on Friday, to Berlin for 2 days, and then I will go to Michigan and do a handful of shows.
E Bo?
No. No, sometimes I join him. It depends. If it's just the 4 boys, in the truck, driving, then it's no place for a girl.
Ok.
Io ne ho curiosità sulla musica country, perché la prima volta che ho scoperto la musica country è stato per un film di Peter Bogdanovich, A Thing Called Love, con River Phoenix. E c'era una frase che mi ha colpito molto, si parlava della musica country come una musica onesta, senza sarcasmo, e dicevano: quando sei triste nella musica country devi dire che sei triste. Mi chiedevo se fosse vero.
It's true. It is true. There's a lot of honesty in. Do you know country music? Is country music popular here?
Of course.
I like older country music, like Merle Haggard and Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash. I'm not a big fan. I like Keith Urban and Blake Shelton, some of the newer guys. But I like Loretta Lynn and Glenn Campbell, older stuff. And I try to be honest when I sing a song. Even though every night you have to sing a song, you may sing it 30 nights in a row. Right before I sing any song, even if it's just a beer drinking song, I try to put myself in a little mood so that I'm not bored singing it myself. If I'm bored singing it, they will be bored listening to it. Yeah.
Ma possiamo chiedervi come vi siete conosciuti?
Tell.
It was a blind date, actually.
A blind date.
Yeah, I don't know what that is in Italian, but when somebody says I was going to the Vanity Fair.
They get married here on a blind date. They get set up by family.
No, it was 12 years ago, and it was at the Academy Awards for the Vanity Fair Oscar party, and we met there. And for me, I was crazy about him from the first moment. Him, not so much. It took some time.
No, not true. Not true. But a friend of mine, a neighbor, had a party, an Oscar party, and invited me. And I said, I don't have a girlfriend. I wasn't dating anyone. And I had just finished Sex and the City, my second season on Sex and the City, and broke up with a girl a year earlier. So you had to have a date for this event. And I said, I'm not dating anyone. He said, he's still alive. He's 90 years old. And he said, I'll get you a date. His name's Norby Walters. And I said, no, Norby, no thank you. And the next day he called me and said, how about Bo Derek? And I said, sure, right. And he gave me her number, and I called and said, would you like to go? And we've been together ever since.
Insomma, la prima cosa che mi viene in mente è che naturalmente, dato che tutti e due lavorate nello show business, fate gli attori, eccetera, spesso in questi casi un attore ha bisogno di molta attenzione da parte del partner. Riuscite a darvene a sufficienza di quanto ne avete bisogno?
Yes. I had to talk Bo into coming. Bo doesn't really like attention. Even right now when we arrived, there were just as many people outside taking Bo's picture. And when Bo was invited to the film festival, I said, I want to go. I've never been to a film festival. It's my first time. And Bo's been to many, and she said, no, I don't want all the attention. And I said, I've never been to Sicily. Please, I want to go. Say yes. Say yes. So I had to talk Bo into coming to get all this attention. She generally doesn't like to be the center of attention. I prefer it.
Io sono curiosa di sapere se Bo aveva visto Sex and the City, quindi se lo conosceva, se era una fan della serie, se conosceva
E se l'aveva notato?
Aiden. Esatto, se l'aveva notato.
Yeah, no, definitely. I knew the character. I knew him as an actor from even before Northern Exposure, and I was a big fan. And the reason I said yes to the date, the blind date, is because I had a girlfriend I was going to show a little Hollywood. So when they said, would you like to go with John Corbett? I said, oh yes, for my girlfriend, for her Hollywood experience. If we have Aiden, to take us in, it'll be nice. So that's why we said yes.
A proposito di Aiden, faccio una premessa. Io sono tra quella percentuale di donne che non hanno sopportato la scelta di Carrie. Grazie, dice chi ride. E
Ti siamo tutti vicini.
sì. Perché mi chiedevo, non dà la sensazione, alimenta lo stereotipo che le donne poi cercano i cattivi ragazzi?
Right. I think Carrie ended up with the right person. She lives in New York. Mr. Big is also a part of New York. Aiden he wore blue jeans. He was a country boy. I think Aiden and Carrie, it would have never worked. I think she needed that energy. But as a side note, the fellow who plays Mr. Big, his name is Chris Noth, has become a very, very good friend of mine. And I spend a lot of time in New York where he lives. And he does do you have a show here called The Good Wife? Does The Good Wife play here? He's on a show called The Good Wife, so he lives in New York now. And when we go out, it's been It was 2000, so that's 14 years ago since we did Sex and the City, the television show. And still, when we go out to have a drink in a bar, people sort of go crazy because
it's
Aiden
true.
and Big just walked in the bar.
Imagine all the mouths they just.
Yes. And many people don't know that it's been 14 years because in America, it's on every night. It reruns. So some people, a small amount of people still think we
Anche
make
in Italia, anche in Italia.
Dunque, prima di dare la parola al pubblico, volevo chiedere a ciascuno di voi quali sono i vostri progetti, se c'è qualcosa a cui state lavorando, o qualche film che inizierete o qualche serie.
I'm getting ready to produce a TV series called Capital Crimes, and it's a female homicide detective in Washington, D.C.
And she is, Bo is not going to be the homicide detective.
No, I'm producing.
She's producing it, and Bo is on the California Horse Racing Board. Right before we came to Sicily, we were in France at a big horse race, their Kentucky Derby.
Really?
Called,
It was in
Shan-
it was the Prix de Dayan, and it was all girls, the horses.
Yeah, all
the
girls.
big race, 3-year-olds.
But in California, Bo is on the California Horse Racing Board, and they govern all of California horse racing, every aspect of it, from the turf to the helmets to the welfare of the horses. She's the
Yes.
only woman. There's 6 men, and only one woman.
Yes, you can call me Commissioner Derek.
She's commissioner.
Sure.
And
Ma è una passione che hai avuto da sempre? Dei
Yeah,
cavalli.
I love all animals, and it's been very interesting to work on horse welfare from the inside of an industry. So much of the time when you're working on animal welfare issues, you're on the outside saying, no, no, no. This way I get to be on the inside, and it's been very good.
And I'm doing a show. Do you know the comedian Dennis Leary?
Sì.
You know Dennis Leary? Yes, very popular in the States, and had a television show called Rescue Me. And we're going to do a show on a channel called FX in America. It's called Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. And yeah, and we do it, we'll probably start it in September. And we are a bunch of rock and rollers from the 80s, like Guns N' Roses, who broke up the day our record came out in '89, and now we're getting the band back together again, and it's full of all the things, all the drugs and booze and naked people that you would think a show like that would have with a funny comedy twist. It's a half hour, and I just did a movie with Jennifer Lopez. That will come out, I think, around Christmas time, called The Boy Next Door, and I'm very excited about that. She was such a normal person to work with, being such a big superstar. Has she ever been to this film festival, Jennifer Lopez?
Not yet.
No.
Ma dunque mi sembra di capire che con quel film, o questo film con questa serie unirà le due passioni, cinema e musica.
Oh, yes. Yes, I get to. I play guitar. I play rhythm guitar. But in the show, I'm the world's best lead guitar player. So I've been doing a lot of practicing. And when we play for a live audience in the show. There's really a guy over there playing behind the curtains while I'm faking playing lead guitar in the TV show. And I have a really long hair. I wear a great wig. And makeup, eyelashes. I look like someone from Guns N' Roses. Yeah, it's crazy.
Allora, scatenate l'inferno. Chi è che vuole fare una domanda?
Qui da questa parte.
Do we pick or do you pick? You pick.
Dov'è?
Qui, da
Qui,
questa parte.
ecco.
La faccio, ecco.
Vai.
Volevo chiedere a Boderek, lei è diventata famosa in un momento in cui alle donne a Hollywood si chiedeva solamente di essere attrici, invece Lei da subito ha cercato un po' di svincolarsi da questa immagine e anche di proporsi come produttrice. Però l'impressione è che abbia avuto un po' di difficoltà ad affermarsi e ad allontanarsi dall'immagine di donna straordinaria e bellissima nella quale l'aveva relegata un po' l'industria di Hollywood. Oggi fa la produttrice, molte sue colleghe sono produttrici, ma appunto lei in qualche modo ha tentato una via, ma ecco, che vita ha avuto? Ha avuto facile? La vita, sì, insomma, non credo, ecco.
Well, thank you for the compliments. I took a different position when I was a producer. No one expected me to be able to do anything. So everyone, when I said I wanted to produce the stories, yeah, because they knew I wouldn't be able to. So I didn't take the fight. I just slowly did my job, and I ended up producing the movie. I think it would have been more difficult. It would have been more difficult if I had come in like a commando, you know. I want respect, I just quietly went and did the job of a producer. So I produced a film Tarzan, a film Bolero, a film Ghost, Shania Twain, her first 2 music videos. And I don't cause much trouble, I just do my job. And it's okay that way for me.
Da questa parte.
Also, I would like to add that when Bo, the things she is making now, shoots in Washington, D.C., Bo's been dealing, she was on also for 6 years, the president appointed her to the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. She was on the board. So for 8 years, she had made lots of connections in Washington. So the other producers actually called her for this new show that's all about Washington politics because they had no connection to the people they needed to get to, and that's why they asked Bo to come aboard because, you know, the doors would open easily for Bo.
Prego.
Hello, my name is David. I was wondering, when you first started acting, is there any particular experience you had previously, or you wanted to practice on the set straight away, or you used any acting classes before? And what would you suggest for new aspiring actors from one side? And on the other side, would you invest your time, your knowledge, and your money in creating a new film in Italy or in south of Italy, especially in Sicily?
Praticamente una richiesta esplicita.
For Bo?
Both, yeah, because everybody
For
of you...
both. As far as experience, for me, no. I had to learn on the set. I was not an actress at all, and an agent discovered me, and it was the classic Hollywood story. So I had to learn as I went along. John, on the other hand, he has, it was an accident, but John has good advice for actors and actors who really want to work.
What is that advice? I studied for about 4 or 5 years before I was ready to. You know, Hollywood is a very small community of casting directors, and once you get into a room and you're bad in your audition, you may not be asked back. And I wanted to be good when I got in. I also got into acting late. I didn't start until I was about 26, which is a little bit of a late start, even though it sounds young now. I studied and studied and studied, and what I learned was how to fail so that I wouldn't be. I had an acting teacher named Howard Fine, and we had a class. I guess it was as big as this class, and 2 times a week you had to get up and you had to do a scene. And the first time you really want the scene to be good so that you don't have to do it again next week. And when you were finished with the 5-minute scene, he would tell you all the things that you needed to work on, and you would come back and you would find yourself 5 weeks later doing the same scene in front of these same people who didn't want to see this scene again also. And then you would have to watch their scenes. So what acting class for all those years did to me was it gave me an I don't care attitude. if I fail. After a while, after the third or fourth week of doing this scene over and over, I didn't care if they liked the scene or not anymore. I just wanted to accomplish my goal. And so after years of that, you do get this attitude of to be able to go onto a set and not care if you are pleasing anyone who's around, the cameraman or the sound. You know, so that's an attitude that you need. Otherwise, you're nervous and you stutter and you...
Not feeling yourself judged. In a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I recommend to all actors, anyone who wants to be an actor, to learn how to fail and to study. Everyone today wants... I know so many young people that go get their headshots, you know, before they take their first acting class. And
the Oscar speech.
Yeah, they have their speech ready, and if you're going to do it, you really need to know what you're doing. You know, everyone has a special look, you know, and we can work on a scene together that someone's going to shoot if you've never done it before, and you'll be okay in the scene.
I'm sure of this.
Yeah, but that's one scene. If you want to make a living at it, I've been making a living at it for 25 years. Every year, that's all I have to do. I don't have to go and lay bricks or, you know, wash windows. I get to make my living as an actor because I worked hard in the beginning. I've been telling my agent for 10 years that Val Kilmer is a friend of mine, and I know he comes to Italy to make movies all the time, and I've been saying to my agent for 10 years, I want to go to Italy to make a movie. I want to get out of California, make it happen, and it never happens. Maybe somebody here can help me out.
Ultima domanda, eccola.
A proposito della sua ultima affermazione, desideravo capire che effetto le ha fatto lo sbarco in Sicilia. La Sicilia, cosa ha pensato di Taormina, della Sicilia, visto che non c'era mai venuto? E speriamo di averla presto in Italia, Sicilia, Italia, siamo tutti insieme.
Really, we've been to some great dinners at nighttime. We've been here for 2 days, and yesterday Bo put a hat on and her hair in a ponytail, and we walked all through the city, and not one person recognized us. We ate at a little pizzeria outside, and people walked by, and they had their cameras, and they were looking for stars, and I wanted to say, Bo Derek, right here. Stop looking around. They were looking for Ava Longoria and Melanie Griffith. Where are they? Where's Pamela Anderson? And we actually saw them following, all the camera paparazzi following them down the street as we ate our pizza. I love this town. It feels, you know, in America, if you have a building that's 80 years old, that's an old building. It's ancient. 80 years old. Right, you get it? It's a tourist attraction if it's 80 years old. To see these houses hanging off these mountainsides, I just don't understand it in the streets that you walk through. I mean, we walk through the streets and we take 2 left turns and we're lost and we don't even know where we are, and everyone's been really nice to us.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. Beautiful.
John Corbett, Bo Derek.
Thank you.
Grazie di aver condiviso con noi questo pomeriggio.
Thank you. Yes.